Oh, welcome back to Ozarks Fox AM. We have our friend Sean Paul here, and I know he's going to talk about something intriguing because he always does. Welcome.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so I want to try and refresh your memory. A couple months ago, we were after the show, we were talking about, you said, what's that noise your phone is making? Because it was chirping like a monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I said, oh, that's an app that I have that lets me know whenever the phone turns on its microphone and is listening to me.
Oh, right.
Do you remember that conversation?
I do remember that.
Yeah, and I got rid of the app because it was turning on all the time.
Really?
It was constantly making monkey noises. Mm-hmm. That's the tone I chose for it or whatever.
Okay.
But, and then you said that, you know, you're concerned about that and we should talk about it, and so it's actually very timely. So I picked 1984 by George Orwell to start things off. Did you read the book? Did you see the movie? It's about a totalitarian government. They could watch you through your TV, filling you with propaganda, and it's just a government that wants to control the people.
Well, Big Brother is watching.
Yeah.
Right, and that's what I wanted to talk about today. Now, let's talk about China. In March of last year, Xi Jinping brought forth legislation in front of their version of the Congress that has almost 3,000 members. And the legislation was, he thinks he should be able to lead, rule for the rest of his life. No more term limits for Xi Jinping. Oh. And 3,000 members, almost 3,000 members, how many voted against it?
None.
2.
Oh, really?
Wow. They were brave.
Right.
They're probably dead now.
They're probably...
Guys, don't get ahead of me.
Oh, sorry!
Right?
I was guessing.
No, I don't think anybody got killed. But how does somebody pull something like that off? I'll show you. It's called Chinese surveillance. All right? In China, they have 400 million surveillance cameras. And they're watching people at all times. Now, the days of somebody sitting in a booth with all these screens around them and trying to watch somebody and document when somebody's doing something wrong, that's over because now we have AI. Mm-hmm. We have computers that can watch people individually, simultaneously. They can, and it's facial recognition, too. Walking down the street, they can pick out your face. Oh, here comes Kelly Smith. Yeah. Oh, that's a nice white shirt. What happened there? Yes. Looks like a little wardrobe malfunction happened.
A little bit of shrimpy on there.
Yeah,
yes.
and so then they might dock you points for that.
Seriously?
Well, not for the shirt.
Okay.
Maybe. No, but really, so it's called social credit scoring. And the government is monitoring everybody. No. Everybody gets a score. They start with maybe 1,000 points. And, you know, if you take your parents to their doctor's appointments, you might get some points for that. But if you're caught smoking or you play too many video games, they will dock you points. If you try and throw the coffee cup away, but it misses and doesn't go in the container, you might get docked points like that. And it's becoming a big deal because now it opens and closes doors for you in society.
Oh, I was going to ask, what
are you going to get approved for that mortgage? Well, let's take a look at your social credit score.
Wow.
That I am so livid right now that this is real and this is happening.
Because you're just thinking to yourself what your social credit score might be, right? And Jeremy Rabe is concerned.
Here's what, and we won't take your time, but the thing is, why do people have to control other people? Why?
It's power and greed.
I don't
like
this.
Xi Jinping gets to rule for the rest of his life now because everybody's so terrified. Let me tell you what happens. If you get a really bad score, they start displaying your pictures in public places. And maybe even say why you've been docked so many points. There's an app on your phone where you can actually see around. We'd be able to see if he's in debt, if she's in debt, how much he owes, all of this information.
They shame you.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, if we had time, I could actually go into why they're doing it because, when they actually went from being communists to trying to be a little bit capitalistic, there wasn't really any kind of regulations. People were defaulting on loans. It was like out of control, and so they actually had to try and reel people back in. And there's young people over here that actually think that it's a really good thing. They say, well, if I don't do anything wrong, I won't get penalized.
Oh, so
they're brainwashed.
Exactly, they are, because let's talk about Leo Hu. He's an investigative journalist.
Leo Hu?
Okay? Yeah, I was going to say
exactly.
I just decided not to, but I was so there,
Yes, he's on fire, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, he cracks himself up.
Yeah,
all right, so this is Leo Hu. He's a very nice man, and he's an investigative journalist. He probably goes out and checks out those cold case files that the police have just dropped and have given up on, and he'll actually find the real killer or the real felons or whatever and bring them to justice. And a man like that should be celebrated. Except in one of his exposés, it was about a high-ranking government official that was corrupt. and he exposed him. And the government official retaliated with a slander lawsuit and told him he needed to pay a fine and offer a public apology on his show. He refused, so then he got blacklisted. So now if he wants to buy airline tickets, denied. High-speed rail tickets, denied. He's basically on house arrest. He can't even really leave the house because society is shutting their doors down on him. So let's go to the next slide. Is it any wonder that he was able to just ram his will right through Congress because everybody's afraid to stand up to him? And it's like 1984, but it's like...
How old is he? Do you know?
I don't know. He's probably younger than Trump, right?
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah. Oh, you're wondering how long it's going to be, right?
Before he's gone.
Yes. I actually don't know.
I want to know about those two people that stood up. I got to know who they are and why they're so brave.
Well, I mean, I probably could do 3 parts on this, but,
Yeah.
you know, you're probably thinking, thank God it's not happening in our country, right?
I was hoping.
Oh, but it is.
We the people got to stand up.
That's
know.
right. It's not happening in our country. Nobody's listening to us.
Right.
Do you have an Alexa at home?
I thank the Lord, no.
No, I don't either.
You know, it was so funny. We had guests over, and Julie was telling a little story, and it was so funny. In the middle, she gasped, she turned around, and she pulled the plug right out of Alexa.
Yeah,
you know, before.
yeah.
Not that she was saying anything terrible. Or
No,
anything
but
like
still.
that. Exactly. And there's a data, and you know, these things. There's like stories coming up. Well. Amazon had to help the authorities with somebody because somebody was screaming at their girlfriend and blah, blah, blah. These stories are already coming out. So they can say they have privacy policies, but they are always listening, right?
Right.
And eavesdropping. When we first got telephones, it wasn't really to help us communicate. It was to help the government listen to us, and she'd be taking notes. This is a fact. And now phones, they don't just listen to us, all right? They don't just listen to you, they're tracking you. So you could rip the SIM card out of your phone and not put it in Wi-Fi mode and just use it as a little computer, right?
Yeah.
And then the minute it gets a signal to Google, it's downloading everything you just did from the last time it was able to link up with the internet.
Yeah. How do we ever not catch a criminal?
Look at this. Look at
No,
this.
exactly, right?
How do we ever not catch
We
somebody?
should be able to catch
So,
them if
is the
everybody's
government listening to us?
Yeah.
I'm going to be real quick on this. Ladies and gentlemen, the NSA Data Center, the National Security Agency, this is in Utah, and this is built, to just put all the hard drives of everything they're listening, all our text messages, all our emails. The NSA has it. How big is that? Imagine the biggest IKEA store you've ever been in. This one is 5 times bigger
That's
than that.
insane.
How many hard drives can you put in Utah for the NSA? So, just yesterday, this is so timely, a news story came out, Donald Trump, in light of all the mass shootings that have taken place,
Right.
he's actually talking about launching a social credit score style system with big tech, data collected from Amazon, Google, and Apple devices to determine whether or not an individual can own a gun.
Well,
Okay.
can we do another part?
You want to go
We did
back to
another part.
ghosts
No,
and
well, we're
clowns?
out of time, unfortunately.
yeah.
Yes.
So I have so much to say. Kelly, I know you have a lot
I
to
have
say.
a lot to say, but I don't have time either.
So you want to keep talking
Lucky
about
for
it?
everybody out there.
We'll be back to wrap things up after we get done being disgusted over the government.
Yeah.
I am so livid right now.
I know. I get
I'm
it.
livid.
I get it. Oh.
Wow.